So how often do you use a scrappy piece of sanding paper, well past its sell-by date? You use it on a piece of wood, you get a rounded edge. Simple way is to get a sanding block. Simple cork sanding block, wrap the sandpaper around it, get a flatter surface, you can sand something and get a truer edge, and you can manipulate it to get the curve or the sanding finish you want. But there are better ways. One way to improve this is to use a small piece of MDF. This is 2 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches. A piece of new sandpaper, and what we're going to do is stick that sandpaper to the block. Now if we use craft mount, it's a nice simple way just to quickly get this fixed. We'll just put that onto that block, onto that sandpaper. We'll set very quickly. Cut the edges, the corners off of that, nice and simply. Cut the 4 corners off, and then what I can do is on another flat piece of wood, I can just push against that corner and just roll that over, and that gives me a nice tidy finish to that sandpaper. Let's pull taut, do the other edge, and then work on these ends, nice and simple. Now I've got a piece of sandpaper stuck onto that block. If it's got the hard backing of the MDF, the sandpaper lasts longer. It doesn't wear out quite so quick, stops the paper from flexing, means that the sandpaper stays in contact with it better, and again you get much better control, because again you're not constantly just trying to hold that sandpaper onto the block. You've got a lovely surface, and it's a very flat surface to work with. What that then gives you is the ability to make all sorts of shapes. So on an offcut of wood, in this case a piece of hardwood, rounded, half rounded, and then I've quickly just stuck again a different paper, this time an emery cloth, to that paper, and again now I can work on, in this case, metal, and create a very different shape. So the sanding block, there's always a place for the good old cork sanding block. It's very useful, it's great to have around the workshop. There's also always a place for a simple block of hard, in this case a piece of ply, a good surface just to wrap a piece of paper around and use as a sanding block. But what I really wanted to show you was the idea of gluing the sandpaper onto a piece of MDF, and how you get a fantastically true flat surface. It gives you control of the sandpaper and allows you to hold it very accurately and get a very accurate finish on whatever you're working on. You can also put this piece of sanding block onto the workbench and hold your workpiece and sand with holding the workpiece very delicately rather than the sandpaper, and so it gives you another level of control. So that's my tip